G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do. Okay viewers, welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, as you can see, the gentleman sitting beside me does not need any introduction at all to all the people in Australia. Mr. Ernie Dingo.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Thank you so much for being on the show, fantastic. Now, a lot of people know Ernie for his amazing career in TV, film, stage. I mean, he's probably one of the best known celebs we've got in the country.
Mate, I'd blush, but the colour's a little bit dark already.
It's going to be a good day anyway. A lot of people don't know that you're an artist. But I mean, the art that you do is really very much a part of who you are as a man and where you come from Western Australia.
Yeah, I'm from the Midwest in WA, on the edge of the Western Desert. Every time I fly back to Western Australia from the East Coast, I've basically lived most of my life, you see those beautiful sand dunes and you see the colours. And when you get down on the ground itself, the colours around you is different times of the year.
Yeah.
Like the summer with the glare and those peaches and those soft pastel colours. You know, the splendour of a sunset and a spring sunset and the light, morning light hitting the escarpment, and you get to a bit of paper and you just paste it down and you go, you're not really doing it much justice, but it's your interpretation of it, and that's the fun thing about it.
Yeah, and when we were having a chat before we actually went to her on the show, and you know, your culture and your people, the flowers and the land obviously have a great to do with the way that you express yourself on watercolour paper as well, which is what you do.
Juru in my language is flower. Jurungura, the home of the flowers, or the wildflowers. The Midwest coast of Western Australia, wildflowers, 360 degrees like a Peruvian blanket. Yeah. The images that conjures, and you go over another hill and there's another ray of colours, go over another hill and over these horizons. So in my mind, I paint the horizons. Each section up to each horizon is what you do in life. And once you reach that level, if you peep over it, there's another horizon, distant as it is, and then you make your way to that horizon. I'm come from inland, which means that I'm a freshwater man. In Australia, we have two types of people, saltwater and freshwater. You either come from the coast or you come from inland. Doesn't matter whether you're black, white, male, female, short, tall, fat, skinny. Sure. You're either a freshwater person or a saltwater person. We have, in our language, we have a bimmerda. And the bimmerda is a freshwater spirit. And he protects the fresh underground water. Okay. And he travels from waterhole to waterhole. The river I come from in the Western Australia is called the Murchison River, and it's hundreds of miles long. But we don't call it the Murchison River. We call it by the different pools along the way. And the bimmerda travels under the surface to those waterholes to make sure that there's water there all the time. When it gets a little bit too dry and he knows there's not going to last through the summer period, well, summertime, that's when he go to the Jura, the saltwater spirit, and he wants some water. So he'll send the hot sand to the edge of the surface and then push the waves up there to try and cool the hot sand down. And what he doesn't realise is that the steam behind him creates the clouds, and while he's wandering this here, the clouds build up and they go inland. And as the clouds go inland, and then the raindrops.
Great, fresh water.
So we can get our fresh water on the inside. But the Warangaro is the rainbow. The saltwater spirit sends a rainbow to peep through at the earth as being saturated, drowning his cousin on the inside from a freshwater mob. And the rainbow is very flamboyant and this beautiful arc that sits on the top. But you watch sometimes that rainbow will go down and touch the ground. But when he touched the ground in Australia in early June, we have flowers that come out, and all the flowers that come out are pale in colour. But when that waranga spread out across the sky, when he touched the ground, all the flowers
They take up the same colour.
steal his colours.
There you go.
So give us the. So it's just the story that we relate to in the beautiful soft pastel of wool. How do we explain these wildflowers in our particular country? So it's a story way of telling them. But putting them down paper
We can do it with
is
art
a lot
today.
of fun.
All
So
right,
today
well,
we'll do that.
Let's make a start. I see by these guys that you probably tape your edges, do you?
Yes, I do. Tape my edges.
All right.
That's just to hold it down so I stop fidgeting around, because I get up and do a big dance around it for a while.
Do you?
So,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of water.
There'll be a corroboree going on today, will there?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start with the tape.
Start with the tape.
Okay, so you just tape it directly down onto that.
Yes.
There, beautiful. Just give yourself a lovely border.
Absolutely. It's the fun thing about it is just getting the paint on there. What I'd like you to understand is your life. How important are you? Not by what people tell you how important you are, but how intelligent you really are. Your dreams and aspirations, your little secrets of celebrations shouldn't be a secret. It should be open to everyone. So this painting is basically to give you your chance to show your true colours and how to colour your life. Add a bit of colour in your life and enjoy you being you. When you see sporting teams, it's the team that run out, so-called, gets all the glory. They don't see the person who washes the uniforms or picks up the socks at the end of the game. They don't see they're not acknowledged at all, but they are just as important as the final product. And in this, all the different paints, all the different lines, all the different mental images that I'm about to put down on paper is a result of what I'm thinking and what I enjoy about celebrating who I am, and in a lot of cases, celebrating who you are.
Okay, Ernie, where do you start?
First of all, Malayo,
Malayo,
Koroglaji.
Goraglaji,
Koroglaji. Koroglaji.
eyeglass.
Eyeglass. Oh,
Okay.
look at that, it's all clear all of a sudden. So trying to, first of all, imagining you have to start somewhere in life and you know where you started, but when does things start to be important to you? So in my case, just one line starts everything off. And that line can be as thick or as thin as you want it to be. So then everything else folds into that. Because I want to put a multitude of colours along here, I'll need lots of small breaks that go through here. Making sure that they don't overlap, making sure that they symbolise a day or event or a moment in your life. So I'm trying to pretend that my life has been full. And in your case too, there'll be a lot of events in your life that you, people may think insignificant, but to you, it was a little moment of celebration. So the more lines in it, remembering also the more lines is the more paint you've got to put on. But the paints that I'll be putting on would be pure lines, pure paints, just to celebrate that particular event.
Yeah. And I can see that you're actually using Arches, like it's about 600 gram Arches watercolour paper.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because you do use a lot of water, and you use Matisse acrylics, but you use a lot of water there, so it just prevents the whole thing from buckling on you.
Oh yeah, I'll be painting each line in water first before I have my little moments of celebration, and I'll get to that part a little bit later, where once the water's all through there, the surface is prepared, the scene is set, and as soon as you add the colour, with that explosion of colour, that's how I'd like to remember those little events in my life that were celebrated.
You spend a lot of your time helping kids and other charitable companies, and this is part of the explosion of colour as you actually do this with the kids so that they can see the enjoyment of what paint's all about as well.
I love when kids, because most kids you work with, their attention span's pretty limited.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do this. They'd rather play on the computer. But when you show them what water can do, what paint in water can do,
Yeah.
and the fun thing, and they go nuts.
Yeah, but you tap into certain areas of your personality by drifting away in the colour and the idea.
Yeah.
Very therapeutic.
Oh, it's a lot of fun in that way. Just what I would call lock off.
Mm-hmm.
Lock everyone else out and just imagine all these horizons in your life that nobody else even contemplated celebrating. From here on in, I'll just put my colours up and then just paint every second line going through. As soon as that finishes up that end, I'll paint every
That's what I thought
ones that I miss.
That's what I thought you were going to do, because you don't want them to bleed.
No one will bleed, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'll put the journey
Yeah.
where life started and then where it finishes or where it is now. So that's it in black and white.
Okay.
So basic from here, put some colour in my life.
That's what I think you should do.
Okay.
So, bit of water.
Bit of water. Ba-ba.
So you've only got 3 jars there because you always want clean water.
Yeah, well that's to rinse.
Yep.
And after rinsing you need a little sub-rinse.
Yep. And then that just keeps it nice and fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, freehand. Go down the easy parts first. Down the line. And then following the contours. And then trying to even it out so that it's got a nice flow through it.
You know, I know that your art style's very Ernie Dingo, but was there any influences that you've had along the way?
In my family, a niece and a nephew,
Yeah.
a niece by the name of Loretta Egan, is sort of like the benchmark. She does some beautiful stuff. And a nephew, Russell Boddington, brilliant stuff. A lot more elaborate, and the stories at home in a picture form. You sit in amazement of their work.
And looking at what you do, Ernie, I think that it's very, very cathartic. It's very mesmerising and meditative in the way that you go about things.
Oh, thank you. I love letting it just do itself. The thing about the painting it before in water just helps it spread. Nothing worse than streaks.
Yeah, particularly on that paper you've got, because it's so stable as well.
Yeah. And when you see sand dunes at Bad in the Bush, and you see the colours different times of the day has a different vibrancy, and you think, oh, I'd love to put that down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many photos you take or how many times you paint, it still doesn't justify those beautiful bush colours.
With the extensive career that you've had in, which would all be pretty intense, I'd say this would be something that you would use to escape.
Yep, totally escape from the film, because you're probably aware of in film and television, you've got all these individual people, one to press the button on the camera and one to set the camera up and one to put the camera in position, one to level. They've got all these different people doing all these different things. But eventually in the end you have a nice product, and that's all that matters. Everybody has got a beautiful story about their life, and everyone's life should be celebrated. Really wanted to do the similar stories from home. Yeah. I'm proud of the Midwest and the colours of the flowers and stuff. But I didn't want to paint the same as everyone else. So I wanted to do it this way, just for my own sanity.
Yeah.
I love it when you're middle of nowhere and you pull up because of the colours or the time of the day, and then you go to the cities and it's just constant one light that just forever glows. I don't see no stars in the city like you can see out in the bush.
Yeah, the Milky Way actually looks like the Milky Way, doesn't it? Yeah. So from this point on now, is we just literally let this dry off, and then
dry this end.
Okay, so you're ready to go on that end there?
Yeah, start again up this end.
Right.
finish off. I want to paint for the fun of it. I don't want to do the Mona Lisa with every painting, because the Mona Lisa's already painted. I just want to have fun painting. To me, the story is in the telling of it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody buying a painting and then wondering all about it.
Absolutely. This is sort of why we did Colour in Your Life in the first place, so people could get that message.
And have fun doing it.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, don't do it.
So where do you think your work's going to develop from here? You got other ideas that you want to put down on paper?
I think the wildflowers will keep me busy for a while. There's a lot of other colours of the Murchison with that dowdy bush and the oranges and the greens, the olives. Go out there and walk around on country where your family had walked around what we call our ngora, our home. In my culture, my language, when we die, we become pebbles in this rock pool on the Murchison River.
Yeah.
There's plenty of pebbles in that pool.
And one of them's got your name on it?
Yep, got my mum's name on it, all my family, brothers and sisters, and also a lot of the ancestors that's gone before me. And that makes you feel good. When your time's up, that you just go back to being basic again, and another little pebble in a pool on the Murchison River, knowing full well that all the other pebbles in there are a family. You know, it doesn't matter how far or wide you wander, eventually you still do come home.
So you've got some work in the Wind Horse Gallery in Bangalow as well, which is a great little gallery up in the village of Bangalow, up in the north-east coast of Australia. And the gentleman who owns the gallery is a good mate of yours and his gorgeous wife.
Yeah.
Caroline and Peter.
Caroline and Peter, yeah.
So that's where people can obviously see your work too?
Yeah. Put some on display there. And
so what is your website address, bud?
erniedingo.com.
erniedingo.com, and the gallery in Bangalow is windhorsegallery.com. So they can go and see some work in there as well.
This basically is only the chance to stop before I go dotty.
Before you go dotty, it's a funny one.
But the dots to me have a very significant reason. And still incorporating my family, the respect for my mum's eldest. There was 3 sisters in the family.
But the dots are very iconic Aboriginal signs in their artwork, but that extends back to millennia before paintbrushes were ever even invented.
With the dots on the paintings?
Yes.
Well, 2 major types of art was the X-ray style, which came down from Arnhem Land, and the dots, which came from the centre.
Okay. All right, Ernie, from here, you're about to throw some
On the home stretch.
on the white in there, straight into that jar.
Yep.
So do you mix that with anything at all, or just straight
Yeah,
white?
with water.
Water, there you go. Is it fresh water or salt water?
Fresh water. Can't get much work done with them saltwater mob. And
The skewer.
nice little skewer.
Yeah.
Best thing about the skewer is the fine point on the end of it. You can use either end for dot work, but using the flat end gives a nice little circle. Get that first one down there first, so then you get your line.
Yep. And away you go.
Well, to me, using white dots is like the first flowers that come in pre-winter.
Yeah.
In early June in Australia, southern hemisphere, is like we call January. It's the first flowers that come. And the first flowers are always pale in colour until we have a yarn with the Waranguru.
Yeah.
Waranguru is the rainbow. And that's how the flowers get their colours. So the white flowers have been touched by the rainbow, and the rainbow gives up the colour, otherwise all the flowers will be white. Eventually there'd be over 2,000 dots, 2,500 dots on this painting. Done one
dot at a time.
At a time. So basically you're trying to get the same width, so you can't really work with a brush that's accumulating a lot of paint on the side. You're going to try to keep it dry. But it's really fun when you get closer.
Yeah.
You can not only see the dots, but you can see the separation of the colours.
Yeah. And that dark line just fades away.
And each horizon, and good because you can cover your overlaps.
Yeah. So you just see the softness of the colour all the way through.
Yeah. It's given its own merit.
Okay folks, well, a fascinating day with a fascinating human being. As you can see by the amount of work that Ernie puts into his paintings, it's going to take him quite a while to finish this one. But it's been a fascinating journey with a fascinating man.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you so much, bud.
Appreciate it.
It's been extraordinary, it really has. And as I said, you can see that there's a great deal of work in Ernie's work. Now, if they want to see your work, where do your website?
ErnieDingo.com.
And also they can go to the windhorsegallery.com as well. That gallery specialises in stocking Ernie's work as well. And you can also come to the Colour in Your Life webpage at colorinyourlife.com.au, and also on our Facebook page as well at Colour in Your Life. But it's been a great day, mate.
I've had fun.
You're an extraordinary
Very
man.
colourful day today.
Just quietly. But fascinating human being, one of Australia's great celebrities, but also, as you can see, one of our great artists as well. So, but we're going to head off again. As I always say, remember, till we see you again, make sure you put some colour on your life. We'll see you later, guys. Bye now.
Do you call suntan colour?
It's something like that, I don't know.
Okay. Bit of colour, yeah.
Thanks again, guys. Bye.